Something?
And we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah, this is Scooter. You'll never take him alive. I like Scooter. Catch a ride.
Oh, yeah?
So last episode we talked about Wonder Woman a little bit. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. I don't... Is that...
I wanted to talk about something. Oh, it was just kind of generic Star Wars talk about J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to have that. Is that going to be our topic episode?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. Because we talked about this a little bit. I messaged you when this happened.
Yeah.
And you kind of talked about...
But there was some stuff later.
Mm-hmm.
So, Star Wars movies can't keep anyone on their fucking team.
No, they can't.
And so they fired 18 directors from Episode 9.
Yep.
They finally just went back to J.J. Abrams because he's the only fucking person they can find to direct a good Star Wars movie. And everyone was angry.
Uh-huh.
And there was a petition started to keep him off the project because it was too samey.
Star Wars being samey.
And
what?
we've talked about this before, but
Yeah.
I think that's a bad argument against Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But I also think that Star Wars is definitely something that is heavily affected by nostalgia, whether you want it to be or not.
100%.
And it's the reason that people like the prequels. It's the reason I like the prequels, because I watched them when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason other people like Star Wars is because they watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, I watched all the Star Wars movies when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I watched them as they watched the prequels as they came out and stuff. So I really liked them. Because I was young.
Yeah. Because they're movies for kids.
No, they're not for kids, dude. Think about how many people he kills. No other kids movie kills anyone. Where the Red Fern grows, no one dies in that. Anyway, Plinkett's retarded. I think he actually is fucking autistic.
Yeah?
No offense to anyone who
is
actually
actually
has
autistic.
autism. That's not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
fucking wow, I'm actually close to leveling up. I should look up what I should put points into. But Star Wars is, if anything, Star Wars is thematic.
Yes.
I mean, the first episode 4 is just like the most basic hero's journey you can get.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can say however many times I want that the thing that makes Star Wars is the characters, but if you don't like those characters, then it's not going to make that movie for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever.
No, I mean, that's...
but, like, I think that the character setups are great in Star Wars.
Yeah, totally. I mean, what's his goddamn name is a really good writer, and... Lawrence Kasdan. There we go. I know movies and how they work. Lawrence Kasdan is a really good writer, and is he writing? He's not writing. Is he writing Last Jedi or?
He's writing all of them. I think. I think they pulled him onto all of them after they dropped their writer on 7.
Okay. Oh yeah, remember that feeling when the guy who wrote Toy Story 3 was originally going to write Star Wars 7? What a meme. That would have been weird.
Yeah.
There's a funny video which is kind of sad. There's a video that he put out where it's the guy who wrote Toy Story 3, and he's like, alright, gonna write the new Star Wars film, and then he does a joke of, like, he has writer's block, and, like, he just, like, is, like, phoning it in, and he's like, I don't know what to write, and then in real life he gets fired, so, get fucked, guy. I don't know, Let in the Sunshine's good, I guess, but, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like mine and a lot of people's responses to J.J. Abrams, or I guess more so just mine, but my response...
Cool as ice. Sorry, that was my obligatory Nazi joke for the episode.
Good. My response to J.J. Abrams directing 9 was my response to J.J. Abrams directing 7. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, and that's kind of a very safe...
Yeah, it is safe, but he did well with the last one, so...
Yeah. I feel like, personally, I kind of... Well, I wish two things. I wish then he would have directed all 3, just for kind of style sake and stuff.
It's weird that there's going to be a middle one.
Yeah.
It's just fucking...
And, like, I like Rian Johnson, or at least I feel like I've talked about this before. I like Brick. and I saw Looper and bitched about it a lot, like everyone did. But I think overall, it's an okay movie. I haven't gone back to it, but I'm sure if I did, I'd be like, it's fine. But Star Wars is a very different film than a noir that takes place in a high school and a noir that takes place with time travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm sure he'll do fine. But yeah, I wish J.J. Abrams either directed all three, or honestly, I kind of wish J.J. Abrams then directed none of them, because I feel like kind of the fun of J.J. Abrams, or at least with him directing Star Trek, is that he really wants to direct a Star Wars movie but never does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was... I mean, everyone gave Star Trek '09 shit for ripping off Star Wars, and it didn't really, but it did-ish. And that's just because he really wanted to make a Star Wars movie. But I think the fun of that is that he never gets to make a Star Wars movie. He makes 1,010,000 other films.
Well, really, the problem is that Star Trek Beyond is objectively the best of the three.
I mean, it is. It really is.
God damn, dude.
And
there's some pretty good sequences in that movie.
It's fucking great, and fucking Justin Lin should direct every movie ever made, and the fact that he doesn't is good, sad. Dude.
I love how much of a meme Sabotage became after that movie. And I think my favorite thing to come out of Star Trek Beyond is the Destiny 2 live-action trailer.
Yes!
Which is fucking fantastic. It's like the best thing.
That's directed by the guy who directed fucking Kong Skull Island, which is another meme on top of that.
God.
I'd blush if I could.
What?
It's fucking... Don't worry about it. Siri's dumb.
Okay. Have you seen Kong Skull Island?
No, I have not.
It's really good. I'm a big fan of Peter Jackson's King Kong. I know a lot of people hate it, but I really like it.
You know what's interesting about that?
What?
I have never... Actually, I'm not sure. I've seen King Kong, I think.
Yes.
But I can't tell you which one. When.
Was it the black and white?
And it might have been both.
Okay.
And I just can't tell you.
That's fair, because Peter Jackson's King Kong is a very hard... You know what it is? It's a cinematic love letter to the original King Kong. So it very much mimics that style and that golden age kind of feel.
Well, I mean, for a time, Peter Jackson didn't make bad movies.
Yeah, I remember those days. Vaguely.
And he still hasn't. I love The Hobbit. The Hobbit was just... All of them were pretty bad, right?
I like The Hobbit. I've said this before, but I like The Hobbits the same way I like the Transformers films.
Oh, yeah, that's...
I know it sounds...
That's not a ringing endorsement.
No, I know it sounds like an insult, but I genuinely like both for just their, I guess, over-the-topness to them.
Mm.
And as to their spectacle. I think they are pretty great spectacle films. But as films, I think they are very poorly made. I just wish Del Toro made the Hobbit movies, man. He had a really cool idea.
The Hobbit was good.
I wish it was too.
Honestly, I don't think I really wanted it ever.
I did. I genuinely did. I actually kind of, at least in books, I liked The Hobbit more than I did The Lord of the Rings. And I was a very big fan of the Rankin Bass Hobbit movie from like the 70s when I was like really young.
Dude, fucking Rankin Bass. Those are some people who made some good movies.
They made some fire movies, dude. Speaking of, you're on fire right now.
All their fucking Christmas movies are astoundingly good.
They're really... I don't know. I know there are some people who are like, it's weird and dumb and old. I'm like, no, they're fucking great, man.
They're like really enjoyable.
Yeah.
I watch them every year.
No, they're great,
It's like the only part of Christmas I like.
Hell yeah.
Fucking love Heat Miser.
Oh, man. Mr. Heat Miser.
So the cutscenes are all rendered in game, so my robot's just...
Nice. Just awkwardly there.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Star Wars.
Yes. Aw, she's so cool. She said sup.
Dude, she's hot. You see her tits?
She's
got titties.
I can see her tits, yes.
She's got titties.
I'm not, like, completely, but...
Not completely titties.
No, she's had a vasectomy, so, you know. But good for
what?
her. Cancer's in remission, so, you know, it's all good. Star Wars. Oh, I wanted to talk about King Kong more, but go on, yes, Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say...
Yes.
I mean, Star Wars... It's really hard to say Star Wars is about the characters, but it is.
No, it is. I would say so.
And I guess the prequels less so, but that's still what makes them, is their characters. And I know basically, I'll say that the characters are what makes Star Wars, and so the reason people don't like the prequels because they don't like the characters.
No, I think that's fair, and I think honestly, what the prequels intend to be is essentially Breaking Bad before Breaking Bad, with Anakin going to the dark side, and like that is a very character heavy idea, and I mean, though I think they're very muddled, and I think they try to rip off Deep Space Nine a little too much, just with all like the trade stuff and all the political stuff.
Yeah. Also, they're a little racist sometimes.
And they are, but like
that's a little fucked up. I don't know what
George Lucas wrote Temple of Doom, and that's an incredibly racist film, but I still like it.
Yeah,
even though
well,
it's
all the
very
Indiana
racist.
Jones are. Yeah, I mean Temple of Doom especially. That one's like really.
That's
bad.
really not okay, especially when you realize that movie came out in the 80s.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the 80s was a pretty racist.
No, the 80s
time,
was
to be
incredibly
honest.
racist, and it was, if anything, you can give Temple of Doom credit that it wasn't a white man playing an Indian in brownface.
Yeah,
But even
that's
still,
that's about all you can say
Yeah.
for it. It's not. But like the original cast of Star Wars,
yes,
they're not. They're all like. They were all new actors.
Mhm.
Well, new-ish actors at the time.
Yeah.
Most of them hadn't acted except for the two who were just like fucking extremely accomplished
Yeah.
actors.
You know, there was one legendary character actor or two there.
Yeah, just a couple. Just a small bit.
Yeah, just as maybe someone who one day would come back as a CGI being.
Yeah. I mean, was James Earl Jones famous before those? I mean, he was already.
He was an actor. I mean, he wasn't super popular, but he was.
But he was like known.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Carrie Fisher and
And-
Mark Hamill were really the main, like, unknowns. For
Yeah,
me. So,
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
Harrison
like,
Ford had acted a little bit.
Harrison Ford was well-known-ish, and also, like, Indiana Jones came out a little while after that, so
Yeah.
then he got very popular.
He
but-
got super popular super quickly
Yeah.
in the 80s, but
Um,
and he's also the only one who really stayed in acting.
I mean, Mark Hamill played the Joker for many, many years, along with many other voice acting.
Right, I'm
roles.
saying voice acting. But he's the only one who
Sure.
stayed in like screen acting.
Mark Hamill was in some films.
He was
the
in Wing
80s.
Commander 3.
He was, yes.
I'm sorry, that's I have to bring that up every time. He looks like Riker. It's really funny.
Mark Hamill was in some films in like the 80s and 90s, but yes, mostly once he made his transition to voice acting, he did kind of stay in voice acting.
Well, he's fantastic at it.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
fucking legendary. He's great.
Yeah.
Skips, man, awesome.
No, that's not even a joke.
No.
You can't tell that it's him.
No, I know, like legitimately.
It's really impressive.
Yeah, he's really good. Like Joker, Skips.
Yeah.
And other,
I mean,
he's been in a lot of stuff you don't realize he's in.
he's fantastic. But like the cast is great, and honestly, I think Luke is the weakest character in.
Well, sure, but
in the prequels.
in the
prequels,
yeah.
in the fucking original trilogy. Sorry.
But I think also Luke has that lends itself to his kind of overall arc in the trilogy, is him eventually becoming
Not a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, right. But like Luke's really whiny and stuff,
Yeah.
and he's still relatable and enjoyable, which is actually you don't think about it, but that's a pretty big achievement. There's a lot of main characters who are really whiny and stuff at the beginning of a movie, and you hate them. And the fact that he isn't, you don't hate him, is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Mark Hamill has a level of charisma he brings to it that is sort of subtle, but is still...
And, I mean, Obi-Wan's great.
Yeah.
Just cool old guy. But, like, Han Solo is fantastic.
Yes.
Right? And Princess Leia is amazing.
Yeah, she's
like
great.
they're really great,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone in that movie plays off each other really well.
Yeah.
And I think that was something that the prequels slowly gained back, because in Episode 1 it really isn't there.
No.
and you can feel that it isn't there. And it's really hard because I dislike episode 2 the most.
Uh-huh.
But I can't really argue that it's the worst one. I like, in terms of characters, episode 1's probably worse. Because just the fucking kid Anakin. I mean...
Now this is pod racing.
But, like, in episode 2, I mean...
I don't know.
Shit on it all you want.
Scene.
But...
There's some pretty good banter.
I mean, even Anakin and Padme finally get fucking somewhere eventually.
Yeah.
Oh shit. The power's not turned on. That's a side quest. Fuck it. And like, and Obi-Wan's great. He's good in
Ewan McGregor.
He's good in 2 and 3.
A national treasure.
Yeah, he's just good. And there's some pretty. That's the thing. Is like episode 2 might have some of that, but it's got a lot of lifelessness. I mean,
Yeah, no, I don't think episode 2 is a good film. I just enjoyed it a little more than 1.
Episode 3, I feel like the characters are like they're at that level again.
Yeah.
There's some like legitimate, like, they feel like people who are living with each other.
Yeah, sure.
And that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sad that Obi-Wan and Anakin weren't like that in episode 2, because their interactions, well, aside from the first elevator scene.
Yeah, that's fun.
But their interactions throughout episode 3 are great.
Well, Obi-Wan and Anakin don't really interact that much in episode 2.
No,
I
no.
mean, like, outside of the beginning, it's Obi-Wan
Right,
just
because
doing
just like
space detective
Empire, it
stuff.
splits up all its characters and
Yeah.
is boring as fucking terrible. I'm just saying that because I'm uncultured, dude. Everyone knows Empire's the best one.
Yeah, right?
I love movies that take place on ice and swamp.
Ice and Swamp Planet.
That's all.
And Cloud City.
Cloud City is pretty cool.
Cloud City's pretty cool. I especially love the CGI.
But I don't know.
Special
the
edition.
fact that the characters just aren't together for a lot of that movie kind of makes it less. Like, I don't care about Luke by himself.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, no, I agree, and I think...
I mean, episode 6 does it a little bit too, but it feels a little closer together.
I would say that the same... There's a film that came out recently that I think kind of takes that level of splitting the characters up for inspiration to its that's a sequel. And I think I feel kind of as strongly about that as you do as Empire, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Because that splits the characters up. And I really feel it suffers for it.
Yeah, I think Guardians 1 was better than 2.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely. There's one... I like I like the ending sequence in Guardians 2.
Yeah, I think Guardians 2... That's my fetish. I think Guardians 2 is a better shot film and has more kind of high concept...
No, it's bad. It's sexist, because that one alien girl's like a slave, so it's sexist.
Well, no, that's more so just emblematic of the cliche of the submissive Asian
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
character.
I've gone back and forth on this, and I can't decide if I didn't notice it because I wasn't paying attention, or I didn't notice it because it's not there.
Well,
I think it's both.
it's there, but it's not intentional, I don't think. I think it's just James Gunn wrote a character and then cast an Asian actress, and then it kind of happened. And because she's not, that character isn't like that in the comics,
Right,
really.
and that's the big complaint.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a valid complaint, but this guy built, like, the fucking universe, so it's like, it's really hard to not have a character end up in that position.
No, and that's not the problem. But also then the problem is they don't really legitimize her suffering. They kind of make it a joke. And I think that's, like, her kind of, like, getting shit on is kind of more of the butt of a lot of jokes, rather than pretty much all the other characters have moments where it's like, my life is shitty and it sucks. But her, at least to my knowledge, I can remember, she doesn't really get a moment with that. That doesn't... The closest thing she gets to a character moment ends with Drax calling her ugly or something.
Yeah.
And, like... And it also, it does. I mean, it is kind of a cliche of the submissive...
But I mean, Drax
Asian
is
woman.
kind of a played-out character.
Yeah, they play up. I think in the sequel that is one thing I didn't necessarily like is that they play up. He becomes more comedic foil.
Yeah.
And I think the first one it was funny because he's such the cliched, like, strong, silent man. But he's also just unintentionally really funny.
Yeah.
And...
But they kind of latched onto that.
Yeah, they kind of latched onto it and, like, really amped it up of, like, all these fun one-liners, and...
He turned into fucking Obi-Wan, dude. So uncivilized. Fucking love his one-liners, dude. So good.
Yeah, it's great. And I feel like what made the best parts of Guardians 1 is the banter between all the characters. And I think if you really want to talk about people, both characters playing off each other and just actors playing off each other really well, I think that, like, my favorite Guardians experience is when I saw there was a preview, 11-minute IMAX preview, where I saw IMAX 3D the prison escape scene, where essentially they mashed together where they came into the prison and where they broke out of the prison, and that was such just so encapsulating everything that makes Guardians good.
Yeah.
That I feel like then by splitting them up, though I guess you focus on the characters better, and everyone has their little subplot, it does kind of honestly just make the film lesser just because of it. And
I think it's hard to make a sequel to that style of movie.
Yes.
Because you can't have your characters start over. You can't
Yeah.
get the band together again.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Blues Brothers, I guess.
But even they couldn't.
Right. And so it makes it really hard to make a exciting sequel because it can't be the same movie.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of just... it's an inherent flaw in that setup.
Because it's a really damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, because you can't do the same thing over again because then it's a retread. But if you do something different, then it's like, well, this wasn't what I liked about the first movie.
Basically, sequels are bad.
Well, speaking of sequels are bad...
Wait.
What time are we at?
Save it for the next episode of Game Grumps. Come back for more next time. See you later.